I was watching one of Pyro's videos this morning. It was a response to one of my videos, which I've already responded to more specifically, but there was one thing came up in that, which is something I've been thinking about the last couple of days. So it's a good excuse to talk about it. I think he said something like, it was only in passing, something like how free will can operate unconsciously. If I've got that wrong, Pyro, I apologise, but it's something like that, about free will operating unconsciously. And that's, as I say, that's something that's been occurring to me the last couple of days as well. Particularly I suppose in relation to dreams. Actually, I've been having a lot of dreams lately, and decision making, which, as I say, I think are the archetypal free will kind of moment. You know, when you stand in front of a choice and then exercise free will in the making of that choice. I mean, decision making in dreams is peculiar, isn't it? Because it kind of feels like you're deciding to do something, but my experience of it, at least, is that you're not really. You know, whilst I'm dreaming, if I'm making choices, it feels like they're driven choices. It feels like I'm being steered through the feeling of making a choice. You know what I mean? Like rolling through that particular feeling of choice making. That might be completely idiosyncratic, I accept that. But it does lead to a thought, you know, about decision making and exercising of free will non-consciously. Because I mean, certainly my thought is that you don't exercise free will non-consciously, almost by definition. You know what I mean? Advertising, things like subliminal advertising, which I know doesn't really work, but the ideas of advertising and the ideas of marketing and the ideas of education, I suppose, more broadly, a lot of that is about training the unconscious, training non-conscious processes to carry out actions without throwing them up in front of the conscious decision-making process. You know, I think decision-making, at least in the way that I'm thinking of it, and free will associated with that, is by definition conscious. It may even be constitutive of consciousness in some weird way. You know what I mean? It may be that that some of those decisions are the stuff of consciousness itself. I can't imagine what an unconscious decision would be like, or an unconscious exercising of free will would be like. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me, I think. I don't know if you've got any responses, Pyro, or anybody else can help me on this one. No. I think non-conscious processes. I guess I'm thinking about things like coping or learning a physical skill. You know what I mean? When you learn to drive, or when you learn to use a lathe or something like that, or learn any kind of physical juggling, you know, something like any kind of physical skill. They start off as highly conscious, don't they? And you're kind of exercising control or free will or decision making about where to throw the ball, or you know, which tool to put in the chuck, or you know, any of these kind of things. But once you get good at it, it goes non-conscious. You don't think about it anymore, and it happens by itself. It feels like a ball rolling down a hill at that point. You know, once you've got this sense of being in a state of assured coping, you're just kind of in flow almost. You're not. You're certainly. I don't think anyway. You're conscious of making decisions at that point. You're not exercising free will. You are ceding. You're ceding responsibility for the carrying out of this action to what might be considered deterministic, non-conscious processes. Yeah, I think. Yeah. That's what I would say. Non-conscious processes, no free will. Or the term doesn't make sense in there, I don't think. Because it seems to me that free will is constitutive of consciousness.